So things are different this week, as you can tell, because Chandra is sick because she doesn't rest. And so this week we're doing a little bit of a different Entourage rewatch podcast episode situation. This has been our producer.
Hello.
If you don't know that, you're stupid. But yeah.
Keep going. I'm like the Chandra of the episode.
I'm the Chandra?
No, me. I say keep going.
You're the Chandra of the episode.
Do you guys know what your catchphrases are?
We have catchphrases?
You have catchphrases to me as the person who has to listen to all of the unedited audio.
Okay, and what are they?
Yours is before every time you say the next plot point, you go, so anyway.
That's not a catchphrase. Fuck you.
That's a catchphrase to me.
Fuck you.
I'm always like,
Fuck
I should
you.
remove some of these so it's not so anyway every single time.
That's not a you're just being rude.
And Chandra's is when she's ready to move on, she goes, continue. And also, when she has something to say, she goes, wait, I'm sorry. And then a long thing.
These are not catchphrases.
Those are catchphrases.
I can't believe
what
I
did
was...
What did you think it was going to be?
Something cool.
No, you don't say cool stuff. You say bad stuff that I'm like...
No, I say bad stuff? Fuck you.
I'm saying...
Fuck you.
What is your catchphrase? What did I just say it was?
So anyway. We're not going to keep watching this show without Chandra. The whole point is she watches it for the first time. And something that... What?
Chandra has been sick for a full week. We've been trying to wait for her to do this episode. We don't want to record it with her sick because she's just going to be like, I'm sick. I don't like turtle.
She loves turtle, first off.
Not when she's sick. It's like a reverse.
And I'm just going to be like, I don't want to talk to her. She's sick. What if she gets me sick?
So we're not doing this again, but this is a fun little episode that you're getting to experience.
Welcome to our fun little episode. Entourage. Who is the cultural successor? Anyway. I could never speak again without being anxious. I almost said so anyway, and then I said, fuck you. So
it's just your catchphrase. Just say it.
It's not a catchphrase. Fuck you. Something I like to think about in TV shows are the cultural successors to the TV shows. For example, I believe that Breaking Bad's cultural successor is Kevin Can Fuck Himself. I watched it and I was like, oh my God, it really so emotionally and tonally really reminded me of Breaking Bad, especially having a character who really you empathize with but wants to do something so deeply awful. I watched it and I was like, this is how men felt watching Breaking Bad. I think she should kill Kevin. Just like those guys think that he should sell meth.
He should sell meth. He needs to feed his family when he's gone, even though that he gets over that.
And she needs to kill her husband, even though she has other ways out.
Get to what we're trying to do here.
I believe the cultural successor to Entourage is I Love LA. And I've thought this for a long time now. And Ben agrees with me.
I mean, you watch this show, you're like, this is Entourage.
The show is Entourage, and I mean that in the best way because I think it does fix a lot of the problems I have with Entourage.
The closest show I've ever seen to Entourage, and even when it first came out, I called you after the pilot and was like, they beat us to the punch. There's girls doing Entourage.
100%. They beat me. They beat you to the punch. They beat us to the punch. However, I'm happy because I like the show. And the thing I think it does well is that Entourage, at its core, is about the industry, but also about work-life balance and what happens when your work is your life and your life is your work.
Yeah, but I think what I Love LA lacks is that they're not cool dudes hanging out. Like it's exactly Entourage, except they're really struggling.
Number one,
they're not having a good time only.
Yeah, but I like that because that's part of being girls. You can't have a good time only, and I like that they're girls.
It is girl Entourage,
and I like that they're women. Struggling and having a time, but being best friends and looking cute. That's like a big part of it.
I think that's not as good.
It is as good.
It's not as good. It's not even close.
My favorite is when we were watching the show, you're like, I can imagine Chandra groaning at the guys being gross because that's how I feel whenever everyone like screams on I Love LA.
When that first episode started and they first introduced Tallulah, who is the Vince of the show, she just gives off a shriek that is so annoying.
It's a shriek.
I almost turned the show off.
It's a shriek that makes me feel... I mean, it's supposed to be annoying in the moment, but it also so deeply makes me feel at home. When you see your girlfriend and you go, ah! And you go like this.
I think it's a very good show. It's just that sometimes they're doing stuff that I'm like, I don't like that.
Yeah, but they do that in Entourage too.
I think it's just...
They're doing stuff that goes, right. I don't like that.
It's the opposite side of the coin. It's the way Chandra reacts to some of the things like drama or E or Vince does.
Yes. Now,
What are we doing? Are we proving this to the audience?
This episode is we are proving that I Love LA is the cultural successor to Entourage. Also, that I think that what I like about I Love LA is it fixes a lot of Entourage's problems. I think there are literally direct comps. And I think they fix a lot of problems. In the show Entourage, it's supposed to be about E managing his best friend. And guess what? Maya, she's managing her best friend, Tallulah.
Maya is played by
Rachel Sennett. I think what this show does well is, number one, she actually manages her friend. She works on deal points. She finds her jobs. She does all the things he doesn't actually do in the show, but he's supposed to be doing. They show the reason that Maya and Tallulah need each other. Tallulah is kind of stuck in her career, and Maya needs something to legitimize herself. And so when those bitches stop fighting and they come back together, they are able to create a business together, like E and Vinny supposedly were going to do. And that relationship is the driver for this show. And I think it's effective in this because not only is she actually doing the job for Tallulah, she's also like selfish. Because every time E is selfish in the show, they're like, but he gets to be. E has these flaws that the show is unwilling to admit are flaws and then seeks to validate the entire show. Maya has flaws, and they do make her difficult as a person to date and a person to work with. In her personal relationships, we'll over-focus on work. Her boyfriend, Dylan, is a teacher, and when she's with him, she's talking about work. But then sometimes when she's with Tallulah, she's talking about her relationship with Dylan. And so her kind of like need to talk about what she's going through sometimes fucks up her work and sometimes fucks up her relationships. Like it's supposed to be happening with E, but they actually just decide that E's girlfriend's a bitch every time.
I think they've taken the lessons of Entourage and applied them to this show.
Yeah.
Where Entourage stumbled,
I Love LA runs.
I Love LA runs.
100%.
But you need Entourage to get there.
Yeah, I don't think the show would exist without Entourage. I do think it's way better than Entourage.
Can I make a really boy comparison?
Yeah.
There's the show Sons of Anarchy. At the beginning of that show, Jax Teller, who was like the youngest member of the motorcycle gang, his dad was like the king of motorcycles who had died. So they're like, he's in charge. And then when they made a sequel, Mayans, they were like, we shouldn't let the youngest person be in charge. We should make him start at the bottom. That would be a more interesting story to follow.
We would get to see him.
And so they were like, it's exactly the same show. It's almost every archetype is repeated, but they were like, okay, but put them in the places that make more sense.
And I do feel like that is this show. The archetypes are repeated, but they're in the places that make sense. That's a beautiful boy comparison. Thank you. So our next character that we're going to go over is Tallulah Steele, hottest name ever, played by Odessa Azion.
She's from Marty Supreme.
She's from my dreams. She is the Vinny Chase of this show. I don't know if this is true, but I don't know any boy who looked at Vinny Chase and wanted to be him. All the boys want to be friends with Vinny Chase, but I don't think any guy I know wants to be Vinny Chase.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't want to be Vinny Chase, but I don't know if I want to be anyone in the Entourage. Like, I don't want to be E. I don't really want to be Drama or Turtle.
Dude, being Turtle would be awesome.
I mean, yeah, obviously, if you had to pick one, I think you would obviously be like, obviously, I want to be Turtle.
Yeah.
Even though I feel like Turtle struggles the most.
But
it's an internal struggle.
That's because he's trying to level up the most.
Which Chandra's not here. We can talk about a little bit later.
Oh, we can.
I don't know. Okay, wait. Do you think people who are listening to this are watching along for the first time?
Only Carrie is. Hi, Carrie.
See, we're going to ruin it for Carrie.
Carrie, it'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Turtle has great dreams that he will try to make happen as the show goes on.
Many businesses and many hot girlfriends that are connected to those businesses.
You're going to watch some great scenes where Turtle is like, Ari, can you give me business advice? And Ari's like, I don't want to talk to you. Get out of the meeting.
You're going to watch Turtle fail a business, but realize he should have a different business.
You're going to watch Turtle get really into limos for a little bit.
And then really into tequila.
See, we can't say this.
The reason I brought up earlier is because I'd love to be friends with Tallulah. I'd love to be Tallulah. I don't know what that is about girls and wanting to be each other or whatever, but she was so cool and effortless and fun and sexy and just moved and was just like just an it girl in every single way that I've ever seen. And I go, she is the girl. She is the moment, but the moment for eternity. You know what I mean?
Tallulah's annoying. Tallulah is so annoying.
Tallulah's great. I love Tallulah. And the thing is, Tallulah does work as Vinny because she is a little annoying. The show refuses to call like Vinny ever selfish or annoying, even though he clearly is both frequently throughout the show. Like, there are all these moments where Vinny, like, is pretty shitty, but, like, because the show is unwilling to regularly let him be a flawed character, like, we don't really get to have fun with it. Like we do with Tallulah, who I think has shitty moments, like throwing a birthday party for Maya for herself with her name on the cake to get them the special stuff. Because basically she's like, oh, Maya, I got you something better than a birthday dinner. I got you a whole room and a special cake and all this stuff. And the only thing is we have to pretend it's my birthday and take pictures of me. But it's all for you. And that's a weird, selfish thing she does that upsets Maya. In Entourage, they're so excited to like eat Vinny's slop. But that's not the way this show works. And I think it makes this show work better because it's an actual business relationship and an actual friendship between Tallulah and Maya.
I agree. I do think like part of the thing is that the people who make Entourage are not willing to let their characters not like look cool. Yes. Like in I Love LA, you know, they're constantly being lame, but like
getting stabbed in the foot, getting their clothes taken off them and stolen.
No more lame than like what the guys in Entourage do. It's just that the show of Entourage is like, well, we don't see it that way. Whereas the show of I Love LA is like, that person just did a ridiculous thing. We're going to frame it as like, they are in the wrong and they are stupid.
Like when Drama goes to the Playboy Mansion and gets in a fight after they get Pauly Shore kicked out, everyone's like, good thing you're here, Drama. And they're all congratulating him for being there. And you're like, what? They should be like, you can't come and pick a fight in the middle of the Playboy Mansion.
I agree that the Playboy Mansion episode is pretty silly.
That's not even my point. My point is the writing will try to make it, will smooth everything out. And this, they just double down. And I think that's better.
This, I think, yeah, they're like, if something
this
silly,
is I Love LA.
This is, I think, if something silly happens, they're like, we should lean into that. We should make it sillier.
Yeah, I mean, in the final episode, now, yes.
I don't think that's as good.
I like that. In the final episode of the season, when they're on the subway, a man tells them they look pretty, and that would be the end of it in Entourage, and they'd be like, we do look pretty. But in this, and then the guy goes, but my rat thinks you look like sluts. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I love that.
We're on the third character. Who is she?
You mean he.
Oh, I think of him as the fourth.
No, because Charlie, played by J.T. Firstman, is the show's Johnny Drama.
Oh, is Jordan Firstman?
Am I just saying his Instagram handle?
I think it's Jordan Firstman.
Hold on. Yeah, it's Jordan Firstman. His Instagram is J.T. Firstman. In my head, his name is J.T. in my head.
Jordan Firstman. What about him?
He plays Charlie. Charlie is Johnny Drama. It's funny because at first you go, there's a guy in here and like, what's his place? And then you're like, oh my God, he's so Johnny Drama. Johnny Drama, I believe, thinks that the show Entourage is actually about him and that he's the main character. And Charlie thinks the same thing. Charlie is a stylist who is always losing jobs and getting jobs and doing schemes and scams to try to figure out how to get more work, as well as getting surgeries to alter his body to make him feel better. He has hair implants like Johnny Drama has calf implants.
I do think you can very easily look at the show and be like, that's Drama. I think you can look at the show and easily say exactly who everyone in the show is. It's like a 1-to-1.
Yeah, and I love that he's Johnny Drama. They give him a little more grounding in that like he has a little more of a career than Drama has. But the reason that he doesn't have a job is not because he's untalented. It's because of his scheming, scamming, and being a piece of shit.
Well, okay. And it's a real thing I've thought about when watching the show. It feels like, you know, Entourage picks up 6 months into E becoming the manager. This show feels like, hey, we want to seed that 6 months.
Yes.
And I do feel like we're watching their version of Drama have a flame out that's going to make him be required to like be with them all the time and join into an entourage.
I agree with that entirely. And another thing that I think is very Johnny Drama is how easily influenceable he is. I feel like Drama gets into groups and he's like really bonds them and really follows what they're thinking. And that's what happens with Charlie is like he meets these like Christian non-masturbators and he really bonds with them. It's one of my favorite parts of the show.
The Christian non-masturbators are very funny.
They text each other to be accountable so that they don't masturbate, which is funny because then Charlie likes that because it makes him feel like he has friends that are nice to him.
And then the leader dies. And he has to go back to his normal Entourage friends, and now they're sad.
Which feels like such a drama thing. And it does make me also wonder if Charlie will have like a Johnny Bananas type thing in the future. Like, will Charlie like make a look so ugly that actually it's fun and cool by the end of the show?
Well, okay, I think let's get through the fourth character, but I have a lot of thoughts on the fact that, like, I think a weakness of the show is that we are not seeing them as a group enough.
Well, I'm hoping we see them more as a group in season 2.
Well, I'm worried about it. I'm like, I think the show feels like, hey, let's watch each individual member have their own story. Whereas, like, I know how Entourage works. There should be a Turtle drama story, and there should be a Vince E story. And maybe Vince or E gets a little different thing.
By the middle of the season, they do start doing that more.
Yes.
With Alani going to the funeral and to look at the sex tape with Charlie, with Tallulah and Maya butting heads. And so I think it does go there. I'm hoping they do more of it in season 2. And in my head, a lot of shows suffer right now from Surf Dracula syndrome. Have you ever seen Surf Dracula? It's not a show. It's a post.
I don't think so.
Someone online posted that if you made a show called Surf Dracula today, you would watch him be Dracula the whole season, and by the end of the season, he'd pick up the surfboard, and you'd be like, oh, I see. This is how he became Surf Dracula. Where if it was a show that came out in the 2000s, the show would open with Dracula surfing.
I agree. It's like how Daredevil, when they made that show, they were like, he'll put on the Daredevil costume at the end of season 1.
Yeah.
To like become Daredevil, finally.
So I think I Love LA is going there, and I hope it goes there in season 2. Because the scenes where they're hanging out also are so fucking funny and so good. I love all the scenes where they're hanging out.
Listen, I agree. I think it could evolve into that. I'm a little worried because the characters feel they are not a unit in the way the Entourage is a unit. They do not go everywhere together, living not at one house, which makes more sense, but is like a little less fun for the TV show.
But I think Maya and Dylan break up at the end of the season, and I think that it's going to make Maya have to move in with Alani. I think everyone's going to end up living with Alani.
I think that would be great. I think they should all live in one house, and it would make the show much better.
Which brings us to Alani. Alani is played by True Whitaker, I believe.
Yes.
And Alani is the turtle of the show. Turtle is like the plug. Like, he gets the shit for everybody. He connects, he gets the car for Vince, he does the stuff, he does this, that, and that, gets all the things for Vince. That is what Alani is in the show. She gets the IV treatments for her and Tallulah when they're doing IV treatments. She has the house that Tallulah can live in. She gets the stuff. She's like, oh, I'm going to make sure we go to the restaurant. I'm going to teach you how to drive, etc., etc., etc. So she's the person who gets the stuff for the group. The other thing about her is, when I first started watching Entourage, I'm so glad I can talk about this now that Chandra's not here. I finished it and I was like, Ben, Turtle's my favorite. He's a good guy and he always has girlfriends. And you said to me, what? No, it's actually considered a bad thing in the show. He has to have girlfriends. Everyone else gets to have sex. In the world of of Entourage, the show, Turtle having girlfriends is a weakness.
Yes, I did say that, and I do stand by it. I think that they look at Turtle and they're like, Turtle is not going to hook up with girls unless they're his girlfriend. And they want all their guys having sex. And they're like, Turtle, girlfriend guy. And I do think that is part of it. I do think they also think he's the heart of the show. So it's a little of like, I think there's a different way to think about it. But I agree with my original take that the people who make the show are like, Turtle should have a girlfriend. Because if we write a scene where people are supposed to have sex, he's not having sex. Well, he's Turtle.
Turtle struggles to have sex, right? Throughout the show, and Alani does as well. She struggles to have a boyfriend, and she's like being taught how to send text messages, and she's giving long speeches about how she can't settle for love because of her dad, and she's got this big crush on Elijah Wood, almost in the way that boys have like their first like hot lady crush. She's like, I love Elijah Wood. And the thing is, her thing is that I feel like they're like, she's too dumb to have a boyfriend, and that's why she's fucked over. Like Turtle can't have sex, that's what they're doing with her character. And that's part of what makes her the heart of the show as well.
She is also the heart of the show. Yes. I think they haven't really used that yet. They haven't tapped into that she's the heart of the show.
Well, there's really cute moments like when she takes Charlie to go like check if a tape is a sex tape. He ends up wanting to watch it by himself, and Alani's supportive and stands outside the door to guard him so he can keep watching it, and she crosses her arms in the cutest way.
It's a classic Turtle drama storyline.
It really is, and to show that she like loves and supports him, and she goes and she smiles, and so has she been using the heart of the show enough? No, but she definitely is like Turtle, but she's also definitely like the sucker, Like, Turtle's the sucker. She's the sucker. She's trying to find love. People are being shitty to her. She wants something perfect. She's got these idealistic crushes, and that's why she doesn't have a boyfriend.
She's great. All of the characters on the show are great. And I know they're great because they're just Entourage characters, and Entourage is the best show.
They're not just Entourage characters. They're improved Entourage characters.
I don't know if I agree that they're improved. I think
E and Vinny are so fucking improved.
I don't know. When she screams, it's really annoying.
I love when she screams.
When she screams, it's honestly, they toned it down after that first episode. They really were like, they knew that was like a funny bit to have her scream like that.
I want her to scream more again.
I know, but I don't. Because I want to be able to watch the show.
That's what I have to say to your fucking bullshit.
We didn't talk about how, what is her name?
Tallulah? Maya? Alani?
The fifth one.
Oh, Alyssa.
Yeah.
Alyssa is what Ari is supposed to be in season 1, our antagonist. And so you get this character, Alyssa, who's played by...
Say who your favorite person is.
Why am I thinking Blair Waldorf all of a sudden? Leighton Meester.
Thank you. Leighton Meester from season 1 of Entourage, brought back for new Entourage.
For new Entourage to play new Ari.
Yeah, really a good casting.
Really good casting.
I think very obviously she was like, we should get her back in Entourage.
Yeah, she's Maya's boss. She is the head of the management agency. And I think this is what Entourage fails at. They're like, in Entourage, they're like, E is better than Ari because Ari is a fuckhead suit guy and E is cool, which is incorrect and is not a reason E is better. When you're comparing Alyssa and Maya, Maya is a better manager because she actually puts her clients first and Alyssa puts her business first, which is a real thing when you're thinking about being in the industry. Alyssa doesn't want to send Tallulah to the four-May dinner because she has a client that she has been working for to get there. Alyssa wants Tallulah to apologize for stealing a girl's bag because it will keep a short-term deal instead of consider her long-time relationship to her audience. And so you have Maya, who's willing to put Tallulah first and not her business, and then you have Alyssa, who's a manager, who the corporate version of a manager that is bad. What Ari would have been is someone who puts their business before their client.
It's also a girly dynamic because they're both trying to be friendly.
They were trying to be buddies.
Whereas like Ari and E are like, yo, I'm like the bigger man.
I'm the bigger man.
And whereas they're both like, oh, hi, so nice to see you.
You're so pretty. You're so pretty.
And then they leave the room and they're like, I hate her so much.
They're not like, I hate her so much. They're like, I wish she would take me seriously. I'm a tough lady.
Wasn't that episode where they go to her house for dinner?
Yes. So
really great.
It's so good. And
their version of Ari's wife is a sad man in a basement
who just jerks off and pretends he has headaches. But yeah, because she's the driven one and she wants to pretend that her husband's just as driven. Whereas when you're a man, you don't have to have a husband who's as driven as you. I mean, a woman. I mean, a wife.
I think that this show is getting to things that Entourage danced around. But part of me is like, in real life, you dance around. So the Entourage feels real. Whereas this show is like a big, silly entourage.
Well, in my life,
ladies.
I don't dance around. I get to the business because men always dance around. Ladies get to the fucking business.
Men dance around. We're all dancing around. We go to a basketball game. We say we're having a meeting. It's mostly a basketball game. And it's just really, it could have been a call. It could have been an email.
And girls say we're having a dinner, and it's like a psychological meeting that you have to come prepared for. So that brings me though to like, what is the difference between a manager who's on your side and who's not? And what is the difference between a manager to your friend? And so Maya really does actually have the conflict of, am I putting my friend first or am I putting myself first? And when am I doing the business of Tallulah? And when am I doing the business of myself? And when am I doing my friendship? And when am I doing Tallulah's friendship? And by the end of the show, Maya does not take a deal that would really benefit Tallulah because it would fuck over Maya emotionally and mentally. It's basically this cool guy's like, jerk off in front of me. And then she does. And then she's like, wait, like this is going to suck. I'm just going to get dick pics over Microsoft Teams.
You call that guy a really cool guy.
That's why she jerks off in front of him. He's not a loser as fuck. She said, that's a cool guy.
All right.
That's why she jerks off in front of him.
I don't think of him as a really cool guy. I guess I think of him as not a loser, but I don't think he's like, oh yeah, you know how cool that guy is.
You know how sexy a slime ball can be?
I mean, yeah, that's the thing. He's a total slime ball.
Yeah, he's a sexy slime ball.
To me, when you say slime ball, you can't then be like, pretty cool guy. You can't say coolest guy.
I didn't say coolest.
He's so slimy.
I
He
said
made me
one
jerk
really
off in front of him.
But that was hot. It was so hot when she jerked off in front of him. And then I was like, wait, what? And I felt like how she felt. But my point is that in order to realize, she realizes if she works this guy, she's just going to get bulldozed and harassed a bunch. So she decides not to take that job.
Girl Entourage is so lame. They just, if someone told Vinny to jerk off and then walked out of the room, you'd be like, the greatest villain of the show.
Listen, Vinny just lies there and does nothing while girls do the business on him. He is a pillow princess.
He's a great guy.
Point being, she actually does make the choice to put her own business over her friendship and over her client's business by the end of the season by not going with this guy to also represent Tallulah. And I think that is kind of, the show can never figure out, Entourage, how to make E actually make choices between Vinny and work. Because basically, E is like, either I could help you do your job that I should be helping you do, or I could say no to every job ever because I think you're the coolest guy ever. And you should only play cool mobsters.
E's story is actually way more ridiculous than Maya's story,
It's
which
so
is
ridiculous.
Maya was just trying to break in, and her friend is a talent person, and she's like, we could work together. Whereas E is like, my friend from home became a movie star, and he said I should be his manager, and neither of us know what that is, and now I'm doing it. And his agent just keeps yelling at him. And I keep thinking I've got really good ideas. And the show acts like he does.
And he never actually has ideas.
The show of Entourage is like, E is doing a good job. And it is like, I think people who don't know that he's not doing a good job would never even notice.
I notice.
I don't want to do spoilers because of Carrie. But, like, E gets eventually hired by a real management company, and they're like, oh, because you've been such a good manager.
Yeah, I know.
And it's, like, the craziest thing that could have happened.
It's wild, because these shows are about the business, and you actually do see some of the business. You get glimpses of Maya, like, figuring out a deal or making a plan or introducing her to clients. You never get E doing fucking anything. And so not only do you not get E managing, you never actually get E having the drama of being a friend and a manager. The only time you get that is when Vinny is like, make a list of the girls I need to fuck. And he's like, I don't do that. I'm your manager.
But that makes sense because Vinny doesn't even know what a manager is supposed to do. He was like, hey, everyone else is living off me out here. You should come out too. And he's like, well, I'm just not going to do nothing. And he was like, manager, right? You can't be agent. I don't know what that does. You can't call anybody.
I have a real agent.
I could have you could be great at telling my agent that he should keep calling people, which is what E does. It
is. And so the relationship that they pretend that E and Ari have in season 1 is much more like the relationship that that Maya and Alyssa have in this show.
It is like, yeah, Entourage was the prototype, and then they were like, in a new Entourage, E would be like a guy who worked at the agency who randomly landed a huge client, and now everyone has to like talk to him.
Or who was friends with his client. They're
exactly.
friends first, and she helps her get on her feet first, and then Tallulah abandons her, and they get back together.
It makes more sense. It's just also not as cool.
It's way cooler.
It's because it's more aspirational to be E.
Aspirational to be a fuck ass who does nothing?
Aspirational to all the people working at Pizza Place right now. Everyone at Asparo's is like, I could be E if my friend gets famous.
You know what's terrible? My head just went Sabarios.
She hasn't said it in a long time.
Well, we haven't talked about E that much.
That was never her catchphrase to me, though.
Well, because in season 2, they understand that E shouldn't be the central character. And so they kind of, backburner him. But in this show, Maya and Tallulah and their relationship will continue to be the central character. And I hope they bring them together more as an entourage in season 2.
I think it would be a real, improvement on the show if this became an entourage. If the episode 1 of season 2, they're like, we live in a house together. We all go to the meeting because we all have a part to play in this person's life. Which it actually makes more sense because he would style her.
It's building. I think he just did style.
The girl would drive them around and just say nice things.
And live at their house. And they live at us. He just styled her at the end of season 1, so that's already coming.
Do you think they'll introduce a Mandy Moore type?
That's what I'm wondering is, will they have someone from Tallulah's past who really fucks it up, a Tallulah Mandy Moore?
Carrie, don't listen to this part because that's coming.
Yeah.
That's in a few episodes.
Carrie, you shouldn't know that Vince has
Don't
a past
tell her.
relationship with Mandy Moore, and we're wondering if Tallulah will have a past relationship that comes and messes
You
up
shouldn't
work.
know that a lot of the end of season 2 is dedicated to Mandy Moore playing herself.
Yes.
Really good.
And so I wonder, like, will Tallulah do an underwear campaign or something with someone who she used to be romantic with and fucks it up or something?
It would make sense.
Yeah, I think that's a conflict that makes sense. I think we will get a threesome eventually. We haven't gotten a real threesome yet, but I think we will get a threesome.
I think the thing that differentiates this from Entourage is, one, there's a lot less celebs, even though they're trying. Elijah Wood being in the show was a thing. But in Entourage, they would be we don't even really care about that.
No,
He's
we're
just in the show.
Walking past the guy and
Whereas
paying
this show, they
bajillion
were
dollars.
holy shit, we got Elijah Wood. He should be a lot of the
We're
episode.
going to give Elijah Wood a fun, good part to do.
And then I think the other thing is that it's less aspirational. It's less it's less a wish fulfillment.
It's
less
not
of a wish fulfillment.
This isn't
show.
a fantasy.
Entourage is such a fantasy of it would be so great if my friend became a movie star and I smoked weed at his house a lot, and I did.
And sometimes I had sex and I got to be a piece of shit, but it was okay in the end because I was right.
What if I did the easiest job in the world and everyone congratulated me all the time because I'm E? I didn't even do anything and everyone says I nailed it.
You're the nicest guy ever, E. You haven't done anything nice. Why is Lloyd saying
That's
that
why
to you?
E's the main character, because E's the one that the audience is I could have everything for free.
Yeah, but they realize that doesn't work by later seasons.
I also
they
think
pull back on
because
it.
Ari became such a breakout character, they were he's going to balance the show.
Well, because Ari is the character who brings the motivation and the push and the business, which the business is fun, and that is what Maya brings to the show.
That's true. They actually wrote a good E, but I don't want to be a good E. She has problems. She has to deal with life.
I like that she has problems. I find them good and relatable.
E is there was a scene recently where Shauna said, "Are you stressed out?" And he said, "No, I'm cool as a cucumber." And I was why would E be stressed out? He doesn't do anything, and nothing is his fault when it happens.
I mean, we're finally getting something where E has problems, but they're so stupid and they end up working out for him.
It's so stupid, and he doesn't even fix the problem.
No, he doesn't. The problem just fixes itself.
We can't talk about that. Carrie is listening.
Carrie, we're sorry.
Carrie.
I think we've proved our point that I Love LA is the cultural successor to Entourage.
I think it was a point. You know what? Here's the thing. In my head, I'm it doesn't even need to be proven. It's self-evident. But nobody talks about this show that way.
Nobody does.
Which is weird.
They're I can't believe it's not like Girls. And I'm are you stupid? It's not Girls.
Yes, they are constantly comparing it to Girls.
And it's nothing like Girls.
It's not Girls. It's Entourage.
Yeah.
They're doing Entourage one for one.
Funny and businessy.
In a way that is unmistakable.
In a way that if you're paying attention, if you're thinking about the show, it's so clear. These are not comps for the girls' characters. These are not the girls' struggles. This is not Girls, but in LA. This is Entourage, but today.
It's literally 1-to-1 Entourage. It's they copied it shot for shot.
Not
shot for shot, but character for character.
But made it better. We just did it.
If you disagree, get in the comments. Tell us about it.
But I don't want them to disagree.
We're trying to get engagement up. I'm trying to get engagement up.
I'm not. I'm just trying to get the word out there.
I'm the only one working to get people watching this podcast.
I'm just trying to get my opinions out there. And I think it's important that people hear them.
We're on TikTok now. I'm pushing us.
We're on TikTok now?
Yeah. We got 60 followers.
Listen.
We can't say who followed us.
Look at our followers on Instagram, maybe.
Yeah,
anyway,
just check who's following us on Instagram.
Just do a check.
Just check, because it's not that many people, but check. There's one that was crazy.
Thanks for tuning in. Comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. This is a weird little episode. Glad you were here for it.
Chandra will be back. We won't do this probably ever again unless Chandra develops an illness again.
Why would you say those things? Well, listen. We're going to be getting a bunch of episodes in. We're really excited about them. We have some guests coming on.
It was a busy May. We're a little behind, but...
Stop making excuses. I'm going to get people excited. I'm not going to make excuses.
I'm getting the people going.
This was a good episode. You were lucky to get it. And we're going back to our regular fucking programming with my goddamn sister. But we're adding on some fucking guests.
You will never see me on camera again.
That's not true.
I don't like that I was on camera at all. You might not see a clip of this. There might be no clips.
But I put on my makeup so nice. Comment, subscribe, follow.
Thank you for listening.
We love you.
Bye.